What's up, Jamaica Plains?
Yeah.
My name's Ben. I could have gone to Huskies in Worcester tonight. Didn't want to pay $1.25. But I'm an elder millennial, so I remember the first song I had ever downloaded off the internet, and it happened to be Killing in the Name of by Rage Against the Machine. I think a lot of people around my age will agree they had a few bangers. The lyrics are sometimes pretty on point. Shit slaps harder than 1,000 Will Smiths. For example, Bulls on Parade, verse 2. Weapons, not food, not clothes, not shoes, not need, just feed. The war cannibal animal. I walk the corner to the rubble. What used to be a library, line up to the mine cemetery now. What we don't know keeps the contracts alive and moving. They don't gotta burn the books, they just remove them while arms warehouses fill as quick as the cells. Rally around the family, pocket full of shells. But sometimes their lyrics are kind of awkward and stilted and almost confusing. So I think there's a solution for this. Not every band has to do this, but some bands, they should imagine that the singer or the lyricist, is replaced by Jedi Master Yoda. And if the songs make about as much sense, you should consider rewriting their lyrics. So it's like, the sea never crosses, some of those that work forces are. Rolling down Rodeo with a shotgun I am. Since their grandparents bottling the people he'd seen, a brown-skinned man. Padawan? Yeah, Zach, I think you need to, review some of that stuff. P. Diddy, he had a lot of musical collaborators. Some are kind of overlooked, but I think a lot of the people at his parties kind of wish they had Mace around. And that's a Mace with them, P. Diddy's remembered as a producer and a businessman. But, when I was a senior in high school, he was all over the MTV rapping. Prison, he can still drop bars. Unfortunately, some of those bars will be bars of soap. I'm not sure how I feel about that joke. I don't know. I am bisexual, or as I prefer to call it, agnostic. I guess Ryan Coogler's working on bringing back the X-Files. I think a good poster would be one that says, "I want to believe," in big white letters, but it doesn't have a picture of a flying saucer on it. It has a picture of Mick Jagger and David Bowie in the same bed in 1970. It says, "I want to believe." I've been following this Carrie Reed trial. And if that's what people that follow sports ball get out of sports, then sports is amazing. But I think this James O'Keefe guy might have just transgressed one of the key rules for surviving in Massachusetts. I didn't know when I got here in 96 as a 14-year-old from the Midwest. This character, Jim McCabe, apparently Googled "Hoss long to die in cold in the dead of night." Never turn your back on a gen. Not after midnight. In Massachusetts, you're never more than 15 feet from a gen. And just because you can see some of the gens doesn't mean that there's other gens waiting in the shadows. We've all been warned about Karens, psyop, fake news. It's the gens you got to watch out for. Look, I wish that Trump had not won the last election, and that's not because of political reasons. That's just because of my arrogance. I think Trump is the Bunny Slope of impressions. It's like, well, I've been thinking about maybe I have 5 guys in mind for the court. Or maybe a Panda Express. Are we not talking about the Supreme Food Court? No, what are we talking about here? No. The other presidents are harder. Biden's kind of like this. I guess he was just diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer. Why didn't this happen sooner? Well, they asked Biden, "If you can't reach my prostate, then you ain't black, Jack." When you put your straight razor in the rainbow, get it nice and rusty? Hey, you going to operate on me? What are you doing with that shower cap on, Mr. Williams? Then you got a bum. You got to talk to the bum. Let me be clear. Michelle will not arm wrestle you, so stop asking. Oh, fuck, I spilled Dijon mustard on my tan suit. Son of a bitch. And then there's George W. Bush. He's a little raspy, but a little more southern twang. Mr. President, 3 Brazilian troops were killed in Iraq. Well, that's terror. But how many is a Brazilian? Get back to Clinton. my fellow Americans, I'll feel your pain. Yeah. Bill Clinton, he was the man from Hope, Arkansas. I can't run for president, even if I wasn't a vicious drunk that's done all kinds of fucked up shit. He was the man from Hope. I'm the man from Liberal. Look it up. It's a real place. You know, they talk different out there. I once told a guy that my high school football team was called the Liberal Redskins, but I'd forgotten to tell him that Liberal was the name of the town. He's like, that's the craziest name for a sports team I ever heard. And they talk different. You know, 14 years in fucking Western Kansas, nobody was all set. Nobody was ever all... Oh, did I go over my time? Sorry.